Profe, háblele al micrófono, por favor. Apreciados invitados, ponentes, compañeros docentes y estudiantes. Agradecemos su puntual presencia y vamos a dar inicio a esta jornada de la tarde, donde se abordarán algunos temas que tienen relevancia en el tema de el manejo de los datos, la agricultura inteligente, la gestión de residuos agroindustriales con producción de energía y básicamente propuestas de manejo híbrido de extractos orgánicos de insumos agrícolas. Entonces, damos la bienvenida nuevamente a todo el auditorio y permítame unas indicaciones generales para la jornada de la tarde. Está previsto para la jornada de la tarde igualmente tener 2 registros, por favor chicos, tanto en la entrada como a la salida, es decir, a las 4:30 se va a registrar el código QR. Recuerden que para acceder al certificado se van a registrar todos los códigos QR de los 3 días de la participación para ser acreedores al certificado. Así que estar pendientes, especialmente para la gente que sale antes, ¿sí? La hora de salida está a las 4:30, que es cuando se finaliza la última ponencia. Asimismo, invitarles en los siguientes días van a haber algunas modificaciones que serán ya comunicadas debidamente a través de sus coordinaciones y tutorías, especialmente por el tema de la feria y proyectos de pósters. Recordarles también a todos los participantes que en la tarde de hoy no se van a movilizar los grupos, sino que con este grupo que empezamos, básicamente el grupo que finalizamos la jornada de la tarde. Bien, para nuestra primera ponencia tenemos la presencia virtual del doctor Shang Rushi. La conferencia magistral que él va a participar con nosotros por favor, solicitamos silencio en el auditorio, ya que hacer una participación virtual requerimos, sí, el espacio adecuado. Permítame presentarle al doctor Shang Rushi. Él es licenciado en física por la Universidad de Shandong, tiene un doctorado en física de la materia condensada por la Universidad de Shandong y también una investigación postdoctoral en la Universidad de Edimburgo. Es profesor en la Facultad de Física de la Universidad del Noroeste de Xi'an, China. Es profesor asociado en la Facultad de Física de la Universidad del Noroeste de Xi'an, China, y es investigador del Instituto de Tecnología de Supercomputación de Jinan, Departamento de Simulación Industrial. La ponencia del doctor va a ser de forma remota, va a ser en inglés, así que requerimos que los participantes del auditorio permanezcan justamente en silencio para que la misma pueda ser entendida por los mismos. Adelante, producción.
Hello everyone, I'm Rui Zhi from Jinan Institute of Supercomputing Technology. Thanks to the organizer invite for this talk, and I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share our recent work. And it's a shame that I cannot join in person due to some visa issues. Okay, so today I would like to talk about our work on data-driven innovation for material discovery. So my talk will be in 4 parts. First, I will give a little bit background on the importance of material innovation and how it's related to big data and artificial intelligence. And then I will briefly introduce our research work on material discovery, mainly done by Jinan Institute of Scientific Technology, which we call it GENIST for short. And the third part will be some showcase of the computational AI in infrastructure in GENIST, because we are a super computing platform, so we have this great infrastructure to support these activities. And the last is some summary and perspective. Okay, so here's the background. We know that materials is important to our society. The emerging technologies in critical fields such as energy, environment, and healthcare heavily relies on material innovations. So here is just few example, like electrical car. It relies on the battery material innovation that makes this electrical car feasible. And the battery materials was awarded Nobel Prize in Chemistry several years before. The middle example is light emitting diodes for solid lighting. So it's generally a revolution in lighting industry. So and it's based on the material innovation of gallium nitride, which is Nobel Prize of Physics in 2014. And the last one is metal organic framework, MOF. So it can be used for drug delivery. So the green page here is the MOF molecule, and the inside is the drug. So this is the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in last year. So here is just a few examples that to show that material innovation is important. So because it's important, actually we are keeping doing it as a human society, like from the Stone Age to Iron Age, and until very recently we are keeping doing this. So someone have put this journey into 4 paradigms. So the first one is experiments. So like Thomas Edison, when he found the tungsten for lighting bulbs, he basically tried thousands of materials only based on experiments. So that's the first paradigm. Second one is based on the quantum mechanics. In the early last century, we can use these formulas to predict the materials properties. And in the late last century, we have computers, which means we can run big simulations to predict material property. So that is the third paradigm. So that's all help material discovery, find new materials. But when we entered 21st century, we face the fourth paradigm, that is data-driven approach. That means we have a lot of material data, and if we can get insight from this material data, we can discover new material faster and quicker and cheaper. So that's why President Obama, in the white paper from White House, announced this material genome initiative, so that basically use this data-driven approach to reduce the discovery time and make it half time and half cost. So that's the thing we also we are doing in GNIST. So we are following this path, this approach for our material discovery, which I will discuss a little bit later. And before going that, I will want to highlight one recent breakthrough of this field. So that's the Gen AI, generative artificial intelligence. I believe most of you have been heard or tried the large language models like ChatGPT or Google Gemini or something like that. So that these AI models are based on language, but the idea can be passed to materials. So that's why Google DeepMind and Material and Microsoft Research, they are also doing the similar things like training language models, retraining materials models, like Google Genome. It can screen millions of new materials like this one, and Microsoft MetaGen, it can design new materials just based on the required property. So like the right figure shows. So that is the very frontier of this field. Our GNIST is keeping working on this. I will discuss it later on. So first, let me briefly introduce the research work from GNIST material team. So in GNIST, as I said, we use a data-driven approach, science about 10 years before. And the approach we are using is as data-driven. First, we need to have a data source. It can be from different material data source, and then we apply a screening filter to identify the promising materials. Basically, this is very like find a needle in a haystack approach. So like we have, for example, 10,000 of materials. We need to identify one or two promising material. So we need to apply different screening filters to find the right one. So for the filter, we can use the physical based descriptor, or we can use machine learning models to build the filter. So I will give examples of this both separately later on. And after we find the candidate materials, we collaborate with our collaborators to verify it, to do the experimental verification. That means we synthesize the identified material and measure probability to see if our screening is successful or not. So this is our general approach. And in GNIST, based on the approach, we mainly focus on these two types of materials, high entropy ceramics and two-dimensional materials. High entropy, entropy as a physical concept is measures disorder. So that means this type of material is highly disordered. It's chaos inside the lattice. And the two-dimensional material is just, currently, typically we have 3D material, but if we make it like atomic thin, it becomes two-dimensional. So like graphene, which is the Nobel Physics Prize in 2010. So because it's next generation electronic material, so it's very promising. So we focus on this two-dimensional material and high entropy material. So the properties is thermodynamic stability and also mechanical properties. And we use some distinctive functional theory, which is atomic scale material modeling simulation tool, and also we use machine learning. So this is the just a very high level overview of what we are doing in GenNext. So in the follows, I will give two examples of our work. So first, this one is using the physics based descriptor or filter. So as I mentioned before, we have two types of filters to find the needle in the haystack. So one is physical based, the other is machine learning. So this one is physical based. So we use this sample chemical space method to find the promising two-dimensional graphene-like materials. Graphene, as I mentioned, is the promising two-dimensional material discovered in 20 years before. But graphene have some limitations, so we are keen to find if there's a better or two-dimensional material. So that work is trying to identify that. So we screened nearly 7,000 structures, and we use this method to narrow down to 10 promising structure, as we shown in this region. And we identified that two structure that haven't been reported before. So that is showing us the effectiveness of our approach. So this is just one example. So actually, using these physics filters, we did a series of work, like this one graphene-like two-dimensional material I just talked about, and we're also doing high entropy carbide, high entropy sulfide. As I mentioned, this two-dimensional material and high entropy material is two types of materials we are focusing on. I won't go into too much details here. Just want to highlight two things. First is we have different physics filter for different systems based on the different data or different property we are interested in. So we have to manually select the physical filter to find the correct material. And the second thing I want to highlight is where you typically start from thousands of materials. So that's a big data pool, not too big, but it's manually doing it is infeasible. So we have to use this we call it high throughput screening approach to identify promising material from this. Okay, so this is a physics filter, and the next slide showing a machine learning filter. So here is an example. So basically, we build some types of training data set, and then train a model on this data set, and then apply it to this model to a large chemical space. So here you see we applied to about 500,000 of the materials and identify this, let's showing in dot here. This is the ones with the most promising mechanical property. So we also trying to use the idea of pre-trained model. That means we have a model trained on a large amount of data like ChatGPT, then we just fine-tune it on our data set. So that do give us better results as shown here. So this is just an example of how we use machine learning to predict high entropy material properties and how we build the machine learning models. Yeah, again, that slide is just one example. So we have a series of work using this machine learning model to predict material properties, to find the correct one, to identify the promising material for further investigation. Like you see here, we have this material system here, a high entropy material. So again, I want to go in too much details in this table. Just want to highlight that we are training different machine learning models based on the different data we are using. So sometimes we use the data from open source data from internet, but sometimes we have to craft our own data set, because we in a high performance computing center, yeah, we have enough computation power to build our own data set. So that is the advantage of this. So that means we can focus on the specific problem we are interested in. So we effectively applied machine learning from like 10 years before. So now this is our main research topic, and as I said before, currently we are moving from these small models. You see the machine learning model shown here is all small scale models. So we are moving this small model to the large model to make the model bigger and coverage better. Okay, so that is our work. So the third part is about the NIST computational AI infrastructure. So that is very important to us, because we have the work we are doing here, because in Silo, it needs a lot of computational power. So the NIST is a new type of ID institute. It has a national platform for supercomputing. You see here the Shanhe platform is a top tier computing power in China or even in the world. So that offers us great computational capability. And also we have this Yisuan platform, which is a software as a service platform, which is easy to use. And this supports us a lot in this material discovery work. Yeah, here is just an example of what we are trying to do. Like we have this material simulation cloud on supercomputing grid. Like we have several national supercomputing centers in China. We just connect them, and as backend, it supports power to our material simulation system. So sorry, this is a slide is very busy, so I won't go into details. But it just we have built on different supercomputers, and on top of it, we have cloud layer, which hosts a lot of simulation softwares. And another thing is the AI material software on domestic supercomputers. So we have a lot of material simulation software, but it may not run properly on domestic supercomputers. We have a project to make it running on the China-produced CPUs or GPUs. So you see here, the power is better. It's run smoothly after some adjustment. So that's also a very nice thing to do. And also to further support our data-driven approach, we are trying to build this data lake of material data to combine different types of material data, like crystal structure data, which I mentioned before. But the literature material data is basically text data and also DFT data. So we are trying to put them all together to support our data-driven approach and also training large models. Okay, so here is our summary. So GENIST, we effectively leverage data-driven methodologies and AI/ML approach to advance discovery of new materials. As I shown examples here, in the past few years, we have successfully used AI/ML screening and that designed high-entropy materials and two-dimensional materials, and some of them have been experimentally verified. So currently, the team is transitioning toward generative AI. So generally, it is like ChatGPT, pre-train a large model on a large amount of data. And in this process, the GENIST top-tier infrastructure is very important to us to support us. So the last thing I want to thank GENIST material team. So we have consultant experts here, team members, and thank you very much.
De la primera parte, la presentación en sí, que ha sido una grabación expositiva del doctor, y cualquier pregunta futuro pues va a ser dirigida a través de comunicación formal. Bueno, básicamente, como ustedes ven, la ponencia aborda una frontera que tiene que ver con el manejo de la inteligencia artificial y tomar decisiones a partir de los datos, o Data Driving Innovation for Materials Discovery. Esta innovación es guiada por datos para el descubrimiento de materiales y es un campo interdisciplinario que combina la ciencia de los materiales y la inteligencia artificial, aprendizajes automáticos, simulación computacional y grandes bases de datos para acelerar el diseño y el descubrimiento de nuevos materiales y propiedades específicas. Al inicio, obviamente, nos compartía la propuesta de que la mayor parte del descubrimiento de los materiales se le hacía a través de experimentos de laboratorio y luego se codificaban. Pues ahora la propuesta es al revés. Es buscar el material deseado y luego ver el proceso para poderlo generar. Obviamente para esto hay que trabajar con la identificación de patrones ocultos, y propiedades antes de sintetizar el material, sugerir algunas composiciones prometedoras y optimizar procesos experimentales. Hay algunas plataformas que nos habían propuesto en las diapositivas, entre ellos, por ejemplo, estaba MotherGym, estaba Google DeepMind, que son algoritmos computacionales que están ayudando justamente en la búsqueda de estructuras, por ejemplo, cristalinas, predecir estabilidad termodinámica de algunas supermoléculas y explorar millones de combinaciones químicas para futuras aplicaciones agrícolas, energéticas y en los temas de salud. Bueno, más adelante, obviamente, nos presentaban algunos patrones de trabajo desde las herramientas computacionales, modelos predictivos de Machine Learning, y en la parte central de la exposición, pues nos hablaba justamente de casos prácticos para la producción de materiales. Finalmente hicimos una parte introductoria a la infraestructura que justamente el equipo de trabajo, que son supercomputadores. Bueno, ahí hay una cantidad astronómica de microprocesadores y ultraprocesadores para la información. Y como mencionaba muy bien al final el doctor, es una frontera actual que demanda trabajo multidisciplinario y que va a tener justamente oportunidades para muchos en el futuro. Sin más, damos cierre a esta parte de la ponencia magistral, ¿sí? Y vamos a dar inicio a la siguiente.